All right. Good evening, everybody.
Hello.
Hello. All right. Well, we're recording. I'm going to just kind of mute everybody in the beginning here. I really want this to be informative, but very informative for everybody because I know a ton of people have got questions. I am recording this tonight for those that can't make it because we've just got so many questions around this excitement. So we're going to get going here. I'm going to be providing a little bit of a slideshow here this evening just to give some really good information. Then we're going to open this up for questions and answers. Like I said, I'm going to try to make this just kind of really low key, really down to earth, allow for a lot of good questions and answers. And remember, you guys, no question is a bad question whatsoever. So we'll let Whitney in there. So let's get kind of started and we'll get this thing rocking and rolling because I want to make sure that I'm maximizing the time here. We've got a lot of cool things to kind of cover tonight. And I know basically what you're going to want is the questions. You're going to want to ask your questions. So Cece, I'm going to share this. Let me know. Can you see that? Okay, cool. We're good to go. Okay, you guys. All right, you guys. Well, we have come into a very pivotal time that I'm really excited to share with you guys. You guys may have heard the news that OPTAVIA has partnered with medically supported weight loss. And so we're going to be talking about this, kind of what this means as we spearhead this alongside OPTAVIA in January 3rd. So I know a lot of you guys have kind of been hearing a little bit about this. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys have heard anything about Ozempic or Wegovy or anything medically supported weight loss. I know I'm seeing some head nods. I know a lot of you guys have been hearing a lot about it. We've been talking about it pretty much for the last year, just kind of seeing it in social media kind of coming through. What I didn't know is how many of our friends, our family, our clients, our pre-clients, and even some of our coaches are actually doing medically supported weight loss, you guys. And I have been I've been starting a lot of conversations with people just because I was curious about it. Over the last 6 months, we've been hearing a lot of people curious about it, a lot of people trying it. We've heard the pros, we've heard some cons, we've heard some curiosities. So you'll probably recognize some of this slide deck from OPTAVIA and Coach Answers, but I've shortened it up just a little bit. So some of you guys may not know much about this. And so my purpose tonight is I want you coming away feeling educated and informed about what's going on, what's possible, what the need is, how you can support people along their journey if you choose to. So let's talk a little bit and we'll kind of go over this tonight. So here's some of the things that really kind of shook me, you guys, is that there's a huge need for optimal health, weight loss. We see it. Those of you that have been keeping track of the numbers, it is forever growing, and the need and globesity and how it's just coming about is just, it's not improving. What we're seeing right now is that about half of all people that are looking to lose weight right now are open to medically supported weight loss solutions. Half of the population. Okay. Now, what we're seeing is that medically supported weight loss, the projection of the GLP-1 market, that's what that is expected to be 100 billion in revenue by 2030. Now, this is a huge increase because originally at the beginning of the year, we were thinking it was more or less going to be about 30 billion that they envisioned it from last year for 2030. So that is a huge, substantial increase in less than 1 year. So the really cool thing, you guys, as OPTAVIA coaches, I want you coming away with this is that 80% of these people that are looking for medically supported weight loss are even more open and interested in the combined offer with what we already offer in OPTAVIA, which is support and guidance, learning healthier habits, and long-term health and sustainability. So let's talk a little bit. You guys may have heard that OPTAVIA is going to be collaborating with LifeMD. Now, why is that? So there's really two reasons. There's people out there that are already taking weight loss medication, but understands it's not going to be enough without lifestyle changes and modification. And they're asking, they're like, okay, great. Some of this weight is coming off, but is this the long-term goal for me? Am I going to continue to be on this medications for the rest of my life? And you guys, what I've been experiencing in my conversations, especially as I've come back from Orlando and seen some of this information that I'm sharing with you tonight, is they really are, they're feeling confused. They're feeling alone because they're not sure what to eat and when to eat, right? They're not getting adequate nutrition. Now they have a limited appetite. And a lot of these folks, you guys, they're not sure about how to exercise well, or they want lifestyle advice and accountability. And they have other health issues too. They have things like diabetes, they have disabilities, they have fibromyalgia, and they may be experiencing a weight loss plateau. They're feeling frustrated. They're even wondering if they're going to need to take this medication for the rest of their life. So now that's market number one, you guys. These are people that are already on weight loss medication and they don't know what's next and beyond the medication. Now, their audience number two. And if I can be so real and honest, in 2013, this was me. I was seriously hungry for help, you guys. I was taking HCG. I was looking for a surgeon at this point to help me because nothing I had ever tried worked. Okay. Now, these people, they're maybe open to taking weight loss medication, but they maybe want some more information before they make the commitment. Maybe they're curious about the medication, have no idea what they'll face, but they've heard some really good things. Maybe their friends and family have actually been trying it, like some of the people that we've talked to, and seen really, really good results. So they're kind of curious for themselves. No different than when we start sharing our experience of what we've been doing in our own journey, our friends and family trust us and they say, hey, now I'm curious. I want to know more about what you're doing. Maybe they were like me and tried other weight loss methods and feel like nothing worked. The weight had just come right back on. And maybe some of these people are kind of unsure about the effects of the medication. They're frustrated that other, attempts in weight loss hasn't worked. They're kind of curious about the cost of the drugs. They may feel shamed to even actually be entertaining the option, which is a lot of conversations I've been having along in the last couple of weeks. So this is number two. These are the two target audiences that we're seeing. So you're probably asking, how do we win in this? Look, you guys, almost all of us have tried to lose weight in the past and failed. A lot of people that we're seeing, they're particularly worried about how the transition of these medications and maintaining their healthy weight long-term is going to be a solution for them. And you guys, as a result, they're worried about needing this for the rest of their life. When you take a look at this, you guys, 96% of these people recognize that lifestyle changes are needed for weight loss and maintenance, yet only 17% are confident that they can manage it on their own. This is why you guys are uniquely positioned to help as an OPTAVIA coach. So what you're going to love about this, you guys, and we're going to explain a little bit about how this is rolling out, is that we already know here at OPTAVIA, we're the number one in health and wellness in the field. We are spearheading the mission. But what uniquely sets us apart from other companies is not our mission in helping people with lifelong habits, but meeting people where they're at. Let me say that again. We meet people where they're at, but we have everything here in one place that adds immense value. And that's what you're going to love about what sets us apart. You guys already know what sets us apart. It's our holistic approach. It feels more personal because they have one-on-one coaches. We provide healthy habits and customize to the need of everybody. But Together with LifeMD, we can help close the gap and make a transition from using tools such as medically supported weight loss and fuelings, making healthy living and lifestyle second nature. And so OPTAVIA's comprehensive offer is that coaches and clinicians together offer medically supported weight loss, and we as OPTAVIA coaches provide lifestyle programs to deliver sustainable improvement in health and wellness. When you look at this diagram, you guys, we offer it all. I want you to think, just taking a look at this, is any other company going to be able to offer anything like this? I haven't seen it. So you guys, already OPTAVIA offers so much as a company, and our mission really hasn't changed. We still provide one-on-one coaching. We still provide active community support and habits of transformational system. We give easy, nutrient-dense meal plans and support tools, because that's what fuelings are. They're a support tool to help people get to where they're at. We're teaching people the mind and body integration. We're teaching people how to make healthy choices in the lean and green meal. And we've got so much with the app and OPTAVIA Active out there. It's really a holistic approach and a comprehensive approach to health. Now, what I think you'll love about this and what I started to really see was the fact that there was this huge need that we haven't been able to meet out there in the marketplace. LifeMD now gets to come partner alongside us and help provide another tool of support in helping reaching those people to move them into our mission. So what you'll love about LifeMD is that it's direct to the patient telehealth platform. They've got an extensive board certified provider network with full-time doctors, you guys, and nurse practitioners, like treating over 200 medical conditions. They're allowed to prescribe effective medications, and they offer 150 plus person patient care center. They are allowed to accept insurance and verification. They do all of that assisting. They do the lab testing, which we're going to talk about here in a second. And they have a patient portal for educational materials, much like we do, but they have unlimited messaging with the care team too. Okay, so we know this, you guys. While medically supported weight loss management can be really good, it's not long-term sustainable. And that's where we come in. Just kind of think of it as LifeMD is kind of going to be like this funnel where they can start to come into, and we can partner with them long-term. So I know I'm going to say this over and over again, you guys, but we're really uniquely positioned to support people out there on their journey and make healthy living second nature. Because unlike any other program out there, you guys, we may start with weight loss medication, and we're helping people by understanding like kind of a little bit what to eat, how to deal with medication side effects. That'll be LifeMD. But sometimes people hit plateaus, and they're going to need to learn how to navigate stalls in weight loss for ongoing success. We get to help them transition through some of those things by helping them move to LifeMD, and they can help them transition off medication, which is really great. And that's what we're here as coaches to do, is to provide that support. But most of these people, as you're seeing, they want help keeping their weight off and continuing with healthier habits. So as they start as this tool, no different as the fuelings, now they're going to learn how to make healthier habits and changes in their life. And that's where we get to support them. So we will go live on January 3rd, 2024 as a company. Now, what's really neat about this is that we are partnered with LifeMD, and LifeMD really loves our mission at OPTAVIA, and they are going to tailor our OPTAVIA experience through the clinicians. So what's neat is they're going to have dedicated LifeMD clinicians that are trained on OPTAVIA's programs and plans, you guys. It's really cool. They're going to have customer support channels that are specific just to OPTAVIA clients and coaches, because they know our mission and they want to keep the integrity behind that. So the connectivity to LifeMD from OPTAVIA, they're going to have their own account page. And we're going to talk about the new kits that we can support clients with that are the people that are on weight loss medications. So we're going to talk a little bit about this too. There is going to be a subscription for people that are really curious about medications and going through this. So if they want to partner with LifeMD, there is going to be a monthly subscription pricing that is discounted. If they do a 3 or 6 months commitment, they'll get a discount with them. Now, what's really neat, you're probably wondering, you're like, okay, if I'm supporting a client with this, how am I actually getting compensated for supporting my clients through this as well? Well, we are going to be putting out a new LifeMD support bonus. So for every client that is active with the LifeMD's weight loss program, that coach will receive a $25 per month per client bonus. And that bonus is really just for supporting your client through this. Again, you're not going to need too much knowledge on how to support somebody through their journey. Just be there and guide them and support them. We'll talk about what your role is with that. But the bonus does end when a client cancels their LifeMD subscription. What we're going to talk about too is that the cost of food and medication in this subscription with LifeMD is not included in the subscription price. So what's going to happen? If you have people that are maybe interested, I've been having massive amount of conversations with folks of people who may be interested or maybe doing it right now. Or they're curious, there are clients that maybe haven't started just yet, or maybe you have clients like I do that are curious about doing it. On January 3rd, you're going to be provided a link that you can now send Susie Q and just say, hey, Susie Q, I know that you've been curious about weight loss medication. We are now able to partner with that with you. We're going to provide you a link where you can learn more about it and do a consultation with LifeMD to see if this is convenient for you. And we'll talk about what that kind of looks like as you onboard. So if they decide they really want to learn about this prescription medication and see if it's a good fit for them, we basically just identify them and see if they're maybe a good candidate. And we're going to direct them to that link and portal to learn more about the program. And what's really neat is that portal is unique to OPTAVIA clients and can recognize that you are sending them to them. So the client completes a little survey, and if they qualify for one of the LifeMD plans, they select a doctor for that client, do a consult, and reviews all the education material. Now, if the client completes the onboarding information, they're going to upload insurance and they're going to check eligibility. LifeMD does all of this stuff and see if there's any lab work that's required. What's really neat about this subscription, you guys, is that all of their lab work is included in that cost. That was a really cool thing that I heard. Okay. Now, the client has an online consultation with the provider and it results in a personalized treatment plan. If they are eligible health-wise and through their healthcare provider or through their insurance, if they qualify, then they will put a personalized treatment plan together. One of the things that I learned from reading some of the documentation is that a person has to have a BMI of 30 to qualify for the medication. If they have an underlying medical condition such as diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, their BMI has to be 27 or above to qualify. That's going to be one of the qualifications they will need to meet in order to be prescribed this medication. But it's one of the things that we can talk about as well. But the prescription is going to be sent to the local pharmacy for fulfillment, or they can do mail order as well. And then a client is sent a check-in every 3 to 4 weeks to prompt scheduling for follow-up appointments, medications, adjustment of medications, because that happens as well. So really, you guys, behind the scenes, it's really cool what OPTAVIA has been doing, because the reporting that goes from LifeMD to OPTAVIA, they really flagged the OPTAVIA clients to track their efficacy, how things are going, They're really partnering with them really, really formally. So they've got formalized protocols. I mean, all of this work that they're doing behind the scenes, like puts you in a position just to be supportive of your clients. So you don't have to do any of this work. So I'm sure you're kind of curious, what does the program look like for people if they're interested? On the LifeMD side, the weight management program looks like this. They do the medical intake process and ensure qualification and verify insurance and eligibility. They get that online consultation with a licensed clinician, and that clinician tailors a treatment program based on their health history, their current lifestyle, the lab tests, the weight loss goals, all of those things. Now, OPTAVIA one-on-one coaching is available for us as well, and they're going to give that to the client. So we already do that. Personalized support, the education, the guidance, the check-ins, the inspiration. We already know that because that's something that we already do. LifeMD will provide clinically appropriate medications, including Ozempic and Wegovy, just depending on which one is best for them. And we can talk about the difference between the two. They provide the complimentary lab testing too. Step-by-step guidance, you guys. They do all the work in helping navigating the insurance coverage and the prescription fulfillment, all of those things. And the client actually gets ongoing access to a care team and on-demand consultations with the provider. So it's really, really in-depth. So what can a client expect to pay per month just on the LifeMD side? So this is for you guys, just to know what this kind of looks like. Monthly, they can expect to pay $129 a month on a month-to-month basis if they want to do it monthly. Okay. And every month thereafter that they want to be on the medication, they're charged $129 a month. I'm not going to go through everything, but this is included in the program, the weight loss labs, all of those things. What's not included, you guys, is the medication costs. And that's going to vary based on the insurance somebody has. So if it's covered, insurance copays typically range anywhere from $25 to $1,300 a month. Okay. There's no way to know what's going to be covered unless they have a consultation. And I wouldn't talk about any of those things. We just say it can range from $25 to $1,300 a month. But if it's not covered and money isn't an issue and they decide not to go through insurance, cash prices can typically range about $900 to $1,400 a month. And we know some people like to go through compound pharmacies. That's what I love. There is a place here that is compound medication. It's usually from $150 to $500, $600 a month based on the medication dosage. Now, if they're looking at this from the long term and they really want to give this a longer shot, they can do programs that are discounted at 25% for doing a 3-month program, or they can do a 6-month program and it's reduced at 50%, which is 300, or you see it's $65.50 a month, which is $393 upfront. Okay. And then every 6 months after, you guys, you can kind of see this, the price changes just a little bit. Okay. Now, what you want to look at is the long game of this too. Yes, right now we're going to be kind of starting conversations with people. And as of January 3rd, we can now give clients at January 3rd a clickable link to learn more and sign up for LifeMD's subscription program. But what's really cool is that coming in spring of 2024, LifeMD, as people start coming to LifeMD, they're going to start funneling patients to us as well as leads, okay, which is really kind of neat. And then we're going to be ramping up our advertising to show our amazing offering in many different ways. I've never seen the amount of investment. I was actually, if you guys know anything about filings. You can actually go look up a company's filings, SEC filings and things like that. And you can look up their 8K or 10Q quarterly filings to see what they're investing, what their stocks are and all of those things. And the amount of investment and money that they're funneling into this, I've never seen this type of investment with OPTAVIA ever. It's really cool to see what they're doing and how they're investing back into making everybody successful in this and meeting the needs of not only the clients, but you as an OPTAVIA coach to be able to help partner with people. So this in the summer of 2020, I'm not going to get into this a little bit more, but I did have some conversations with some people behind the scenes. There's a lot of support with data sharing, improved purchase experience. Like it's really going to be neat to see the tools and support that's going to be offered and to help you have a more integrated experience. But you're probably wondering, what about our plans and products and services? How does this correspond? Well, one of the things that I found out through some of the research is that there really isn't a set criteria on how people need to fuel their bodies on these medications. And so it's up to a lot of the times the providers or our guidance just to provide tools and resources to help get them there. One of the biggest needs that we really, really see is the fact that, look, most people are already looking for nutritional guidance right here. This is where most of our clients are at right now. They're doing the 5-in-1, the 4-2-in-1. They're doing the active plan, maybe even the 3-in-3. We know that we're hitting this market right here as coaches, and we're hitting this market right here, which is moving from weight loss to optimization. Where we're going to fill the gap now here is that some of these people are also looking for medically supported weight loss, but they're looking for healthy nutrition and lean muscle support while on a reduced calorie diet. Or they're looking to support lean muscle while on a reduced calorie diet, but they've already got a diet plan in order and ready to go, and they don't feel like they need actual nutrition guidance. Here's the crazy thing, you guys. When you start looking at this, I was reading this in the documentation. When people are on the medically supported weight loss medications, they can lose 20 to 50% of their muscle mass, not just fat. Now, we know that about 20% of lean muscle mass is a good, healthy ratio to fat loss while we're in the weight loss phase, but while on these medications, they can lose 20 to 50%. So healthy lean muscle support and adequate nutrition is key for these folks if they decide to get on medically supported weight loss. So there's going to be 2 programs that we get to offer as OPTAVIA coaches. One is a nutrition kit for medically supported weight loss, and one is a muscle health kit for people that already feel like they have a nutrition plan in order. Now, you may want to take a screenshot of this. And again, I can give you guys the slides for this if you want to look at it later. But when you look at the price point, our cost for signing people up is $396.50 on the 5-in-1 program without the Habits of Health system. So that goes up to $449. What a client can expect to anticipate if they wanted a nutrition kit along with muscle support on OPTAVIA Active is starting at $268.15. Plus we add the Habits of Health system to this, right? So just over about $300. And this is the discounts that they'll receive. But maybe they've already got a nutrition plan in order. Maybe their doctor just says, hey, I'm not worried about that too much, but maybe they're really concerned about the muscle loss on this. And so they can pair up with the OPTAVIA Muscle Health Kit, which is OPTAVIA Active and using whey protein for a reduced plan too. So if a price point and people are concerned about the cost of the medication and what they can actually afford, you're just going to want to have talks with them. And we'll talk about this just a little bit more about what their needs are and help meeting them with what their concerns are going to be along the way. I'm going to grab a drink here real quick because I've been talking a lot. Hold on. Okay. So let's talk about kit number 1. This is the OPTAVIA Nutrition Kit. for medically supported weight loss. Somebody goes on medications, they really see the need that they want adequate nutrition, because what they're going to suggest in the data too is that they actually take vitamin supplementation and get good healthy nutrition in. Some people may not know where to get that from, and if that's going to be a concern of one of these clients, we're going to suggest the nutrition kit for medically supported weight loss. It gives them basically what we would think a half order, which is about 12 boxes of fuelings, but it also gives them the active whey protein for an entire month to help them make sure they're getting adequate nutrition while supporting muscle health while they're in the weight loss phase. So this will start at $268.15. You'll also want to add the Habits of Health system to that, as always, as we're partnering with people for lifelong transformation. It's not just about weight loss, but helping support them with that. And then the second option is, hey, I'm already maybe on the medication, but I am concerned. I got my nutrition in order. I feel good. My doctor says just eating a little bit of this is good. But if they're concerned about the muscle loss that they can experience with that, and they want to make sure they retain that as much as possible, maybe the price point for their medication's a little bit higher than say the average person, and they're max them out at like 1,000, and they're like, hey, I can't afford that. Say, hey, this is something to consider. What we know is that while on weight loss medications, you can lose 20 to 50% of your muscle mass. You may want to consider taking a protein supplement to help support your muscles while in the weight loss phase. This may be of benefit for you. We see this with a lot of people. People are scared about osteoporosis, the muscle support of the bones and things like that. So, this is a really great option, and this will start at $158.85. Excuse me, $158.85. Again, I would always encourage, hey, the Habits of Health system is really great, benefit to this as well. Not a have to, but we always encourage it. So you guys, you may want to look at some more information, and I can pull these up as you have questions and answers. But here's what we know. I mean, obesity is a chronic disease, and our primary approach is to help people with weight loss. And we know that medically supported weight loss combines the use of weight loss medication with nutrition, exercise, and lifestyle behavior modifications. And this is going to be really guided under board certified physicians with LifeMD, which is really neat. So you've got the credibility and the peace of mind to know that you're going to be partnering with some of the best in the field that are spearheading weight loss medication. And you've got support behind you. So you can scan these barcodes too, you guys. But how to share this? I'm sure you guys are probably wondering, how do I start conversations about this? There's some really great talking points and languages to say and languages to avoid when you start talking about this. I always say I like to keep it Switzerland and keep it neutral because people are scared. People are curious about this. And now you have the option, if you want to help provide that. And then that's the great thing that I'll kind of end on, you guys, is that you don't have to support this. This is your business, but it's an option as an OPTAVIA coach that you can now provide too. So I'm going to open this up for Q&A. I know you guys have probably got a lot of questions ramping up behind this. So you guys, I'll allow you to take yourself off mute or raise your hands, and I'll keep the chat open too. Okay.
Go ahead, Bear.
Okay,
You're
so I
off
saw
mute.
the first question
Okay.
here from Whitney is that there's a reason the EA8s aren't in these kits. So yes, the whey protein is way more nutrient dense for building muscle than essential amino acids. That was the recommendation that I had gotten from coach support and nutrition support, is that it's just way more aggressive to help support them versus the essential amino acids. So that's a technical term I got.
yeah, I guess I was just surprised to not see both in there, like to combine together. So, but thank you. And that little code didn't work when I tried to go to it. So I would appreciate the slides, and I'm on the coach answers thing. I'm sure it's on there somewhere. It just yeah, it gave me an error code.
Oh, well, they're always working on links. Gotta love
Yeah,
'em.
yeah.
Yeah, so I will share that so that you guys can have that and kind of see where to go for that. So if you go to Coach Answers, document library, Coach Answers right here. And then if you scroll down to medically supported weight loss training resources, this is the slide deck right here. And it has a little bit more, but I just felt like some of it was just a little bit too redundant. But one of the things you'll want to look at is the medically supported weight loss facts. And some things that I just thought that was really, really interesting right here. So generally individuals with a BMI of 30 or along with other obesity related disease of 27 BMI and above will be a candidate for weight loss medications. So there's a lot of information here. So I'll stop sharing there, but I can put that information in the chat too as well. I'll throw that in there. Okay, what other questions you guys got?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So LifeMD, are they going to be prescribing these medications?
They are prescribing. So OPTAVIA coaches, we will not prescribe. We will not suggest. We will just give the answer that it's available to them, right? So we do not give any sort of advice when it comes to any of that stuff. We're not going to be providing any guidance as a coach on how to use the medications or anything having to do with the medications whatsoever. So as always, whenever somebody asks anything medically related, we just say, that's a really great question for your physician. I'm going to defer you because I'm not a healthcare provider and I wouldn't be able to respond to that in a way that would help support you. It's not my field. It's beyond my pay grade is what I tell people.
Okay, but we are turning them on to LifeMD. We are steering them towards that. Is that correct?
If a coach decides to. So if
Okay.
somebody's curious to knowing about this starting January 3rd, and somebody's curious to know, say, hey, guess what? As a coach, I can help you with that if you're curious to learn more about it. And we can provide them a link that is an OPTAVIA portal that goes through LifeMD where they can start the process of figuring out if it's a good fit for them.
And because we are doing that, because we're sending them to that, they're being prescribed medication, what's our liability for something like that?
That's a really great question because we're not doing anything when it has to do with any of those things. We're not prescribing, we're not suggesting, there's no liability as a coach. So actually that is a really great question that they cover right here. See right here. The individual healthcare provider is solely responsible for recommending, prescribing, adjusting, and following up with the client. Independent OPTAVIA coaches' guidance and support do not constitute medical advice, and we don't give medical advice. So really, there's no liability as us as a coach whatsoever,
Right.
unless you decide to suggest something over the phone or things like that, then we would be out of our statutes of guidelines as a coach.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So nothing in our role has changed. We offer support on the program that we know, which is the 5-in-1, the 4-in-2, the whey protein, all of those things, our products. We offer support. We offer the habits of health systems. We offer fuelings. Beyond that, we just say, that's a really great question. I didn't go to school for that. Let's have you go back to LifeMD. Will you let me know what you found out? Is that helpful, Bear? Awesome. That's a good question because honestly, when I first came into that was my question too, was like, great, what's my liability going to be then? Like, what's my relationship to this? And it's really great because it's really two separate entities that collaborate together. So it's kind of like this beautiful triangle for us where we really don't have a liability as long as you don't put yourself in a spot of liability. So it's just being informed enough to know, say, hey, you know what? I'm here to support you along your journey. I'm so glad these things are working out for you. If they're experiencing side effects and things like that, we defer, always defer. And that's just what we do. I say, I'm sorry that you may be having, side effects in this and this. I would highly recommend that you contact LifeMD. You've got a designated physician support to you whenever you need it, and they will have those lifelines available to them. Yeah.
Go ahead, Shannon.
So my question would be, so after we refer them to the telemed, and they put them on the medication, then do they refer them back to us for for our part, or how do we know where it goes from there?
That was my question the other day. I actually shared this. Was it Stacy? I think I shared it with, because that's where I felt like I was like, I don't know, right? Where's the gap, and so I haven't received a complete answer from OPTAVIA. I've tried calling a couple of times and they have told me to contact LifeMD. I guess there's an email address that's coachsupport@lifemd.com to email them. If I had to make an educated guess, and I've talked to a couple of other coaches who are physicians that are trying to spearhead this as well, is that because the physician can recommend the OPTAVIA programs and things like that, they may suggest a program and they could refer them back to us. They could just say, hey, that's going to be at your own discretion, because one of the things that I read is that there's no nutritional guidelines whatsoever that need to be met while on these medications. And I found that very, very fascinating, because what this medication is an appetite suppressant. And they don't really have any guidelines per se on what needs to be met. This is why we're just trying to help bridge the gap, because each client is going to be different. So I feel like it is also with the discretion of the physician to recommend those things. It's up to the client's discretion on what they eat too. As always, we can't control what a client eats. I mean, we can suggest a 5-in-1, we can suggest that they eat vegetables, just like the physician is going to advise them to probably have adequate nutrition. I'm not sure just yet. How I'm approaching it is that if somebody is interested January 3rd, and as we go about this, I'm making it my duty and honor to follow up with that person and say, hey, were you approved? And if they were, great. What was the physician's suggestion on helping you support you with nutrition, your muscle support, and your healthy habits beyond the medication? Have you thought about that? What that looks like for you? And based on their response, I'm waiting to hear a response. Yes, my physician told me I should do this. Oops, I don't know why my whiteboard just went up. You'll have to excuse me on that one. I don't know.
And me.
Oh, that was you. Okay, I was
Me,
like,
I did it. I'm me. Yeah, go.
all good. And this is, this is the cool thing that we're just talking, you guys, is just that with this, now I get to ask them, okay, had they talked to you about the potential for muscle loss? Have they talked to you about your nutrition and game plan? And if they say yes, then I'm going to go with what the physician suggested. And then I'm going to try to pair them up with a program based on what the physician suggests. And that's what we'll sign them up. We'll create an account if they're not already existing. If they're already an existing client, awesome, they're already in the system. We just adjust their order and get that placed. And then, yeah, if they haven't even thought of this and they haven't gone to them first, I mean, there's so many different scenarios, if that makes sense, but I haven't gotten a clear-cut answer if LifeMD is going to say, hey, guess what? Shannon sent you to us. this is what we're prescribing. This is what you're going to go and want to go do, because honestly, it's the client's discretion whether or not they want to partner with a nutrition program too. They don't have to.
Right. I just wasn't sure if maybe we were possibly referring what could be a potential client for us, and by suggesting they go to telemed, we just gave away a client.
But we didn't though, because we will also get supported financially for sending a client that way.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a tracking system with the link and things like that. And they'll say, how did you hear? And they'll ask you to put, I believe, the coach's name, if I remember that correctly, into the system. That's just it. We won't lose that tracking method that I was trying to explain at the bottom, and how that's tracked and all of that. We won't be losing clients that way. That's the cool thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Make sure I'm not missing anything in the chat. Okay, Whitney, I think you had another question with that.
Well, I just wanted to share, I definitely have had my reservations. I hope I can share here. I hope it's not necessarily a question. I'm just sharing. You know, I was in healthcare for a long time. I still am in healthcare, and I feel a little like, okay, how is this gonna, you know, look for us when we have branded ourselves a certain way, and now we're talking about, you know, rebranding ourselves. But you know, Annika said something to me in a voice message the other day, and then I was kind of talking it through with Gabe, actually, because I just was like, you know, I just don't know how I feel about this, because kind of like what Baron's saying, you know, I mean, I have not used these medications, nor do I have a need to at this point. So like integrity wise, I can't say firsthand what the experience may or may not be. You know, I don't know what people are going to experience and go through. Whereas on our journey here with OPTAVIA, like we know being a coach is very experiential, right? And so we have our own experiences that we can speak to. And so I've been concerned, like, gosh, I hope I don't refer somebody to this, and I'm, you know, is there going to be some kind of side effects down the road that are going to impact them negatively? You know, what's the liability going to be? Like Baron said, I mean, I knew we wouldn't have any liability, but like for my own conscience, right? I don't want to put somebody in a position that's going to do more harm than good. That's just not what we do here. So I've had these conversations in my head out loud, and it just comes down to the matter of the fact of is like, people are going to do whatever they're going to do, whether OPTAVIA is positioning themselves in the way that they are, whether we are, you know, sharing that we can offer this or not, whether we're sharing that we can meet them where they're at. Like, people are going to do this with or without us. And so I'm simply just saying to myself, well, hey, if they choose to do it and they want to do it with me, like, how cool is that I get to learn and do it with them too? And just completely detaching from all the variables, because could be a lot of them that we could all be, you know, spinning our wheels on. And I'm just trying to look at this like another option. It's not to say it's the only way. Just like with OPTAVIA, I try really hard to say this is just a way, because I believe there are thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of ways that somebody could successfully lose weight and keep it off. But that it's like the only factor there is the person. These are just a bunch of different ways that we give them to be successful or help them along the way. So I just kind of wanted to share that, because I've been battling in here, you know, this whole thing. And so I hope that we can come together and kind of help each other through this transition, and how we share and how we show up and how we, you know, best coach people that do choose this way, and just still kind of be operating from that place of integrity is like really big for me.
Thank you so much for sharing that, girl. We've had a lot of conversations, and you guys, Whitney is absolutely right. And I had that first residual like gut instinct in my stomach too. And I was like, what does this say? You know, are we changing our mission? All of those things. And it took me a good couple of months to work through this, right? Because it was all about, we're about proactive, and teaching people healthier habits and all those things. And our mission hasn't changed, you guys. And this is where I really had to look at it, because actually one of my clients said this to me. She goes, yeah, but you were just using a tool to help you get to where you want to be. And now you've learned healthier habits and you're continuing to learn healthier habits. She goes, the medication is just a stepping stone, no different than the fuelings is a stepping stone. But some people are in such a horrible hole. You may have been in a 5-foot hole. Some people are in a 20-foot hole and feeling like they need that as a stepping stone along with the fuelings and along with support. And the biggest thing that hit home for me was when Dr. A says we're autonomy supportive. We're here to meet people where they're at, not where we think they should be and how they should start. Because for me, and this is where I really had to take an integrity check, I would have taken this probably about 7 years ago if it was available and if I could afford it, because I didn't know any better, right? Now I know better, we do better, but most people, they don't. And they need somebody that has walked through the fire to be able to help support them along their journey and walk with them. And isn't that the most honorable thing that we get to do, you guys, is walk them through the fire, right? And it doesn't matter. We're just there to help and kind of support. And you're right, Whitney, people are going to do this with or without us. We might as well be there to help support them and guide them. And my biggest takeaway was too, is that, okay, if the medication, let's just say the medication doesn't work and they've got the horrible side effects. We're not telling them they should. We're giving them a solution and saying, here's an option for you to make an informed decision for you. And if it doesn't work, we can say, guess what? That's not the only option. Yes, that was a great support tool, but I've been able to do it this way with the fuelings, my coach, the habits of health system. It's not the only way, just like Whitney said. So guess what? Are you willing to give this a shot? And because you were able to meet them where they were at and what they wanted to do, put in the chat, what does that build? What do they now have with you? Yeah, they trust you because they felt seen, they felt heard, they didn't feel judged. How many people feel right now they won't even talk about this stuff because they feel judged? So many people won't even text messages nowadays because they're scared just to even check in with you as a client. Or am I the only one? No. It's what, right? They're scared to just even talk with you, right? So now if you make them feel seen, that it's autonomy supportive and you're there to help support them in their journey, you've now got trust and credibility, and they're more likely to partner with you and stay if that isn't a good fit. And if it does work, great. Now we just advance them along and build one healthy habit at a time. Anybody else want to share their thoughts like this? Yeah, people are tired of being disappointed, for real. They are. Cindy Sue, I see you're tapping your hands. You can share if you want to. Like, serious, this is open forum. Like this.
Well, I came in late. I was watching your other meeting, so I'm still just soaking it all in. Personally, okay, I have been down that road too. I've done the medication, and yeah, it worked great. It worked wonderful, right? I pick a pill, go do your thing, whatever. But then I gained it all back. So I need to do some research. I need to read the literature that was out there, because like I said, I came in late. So before I make a judgment, of what I'm doing, because my whole point of doing OPTAVIA, honestly, was because I've done that a couple times, that it didn't work, and this is working for me. So I'm not a real fan of it, but I need to learn more about it. So that's where I'm at.
And this provides so much credibility for other people that may, just like we said, right? There's so many people that I've talked that have had good results and so many people that have had not so good results. And you're going to be able to meet the needs of both. That's the great thing, you guys. And that's what we're here to go do, is just kind of autonomy supportive. And then if that comes up, you're just like, hey, I'm here to support you every step of the way. Despite my own personal experience with this, that it didn't work, I know that with this and this, both sides, we can probably make something happen, right? Because just like Whitney says, it's not one size fits all, but we do have all right here and all options. And that's really awesome. So I would do your research. That's what I did for the last week. All I have been doing is reading through this and seeking to understand and calling OPTAVIA nutrition support and calling Coach Answers and trying to figure out as much as humanly possible from an objective standpoint so that I could form a healthy opinion on it for me and my business. And that's what I want to encourage you guys to do, is take radical responsibility for you and your business and the lives you want to help, and just say, hey, what do I want to know about this? What do I feel like I need to know to make a good decision, whether or not I want to support this? Because you don't have to. But I bet you, you're going to see a lot of people that are curious about this, and you may want to offer it. So I don't know if you guys saw, I put up a poll in Living Your Best Life asking what people thought on this. And Whitney, before I get you going here, I want you guys, this was a reason why I did this poll the other day, because I wanted to see who was in support and who wasn't of this. And out of this group, our current clients, some of our coaches, okay, and people who weren't clients just yet. The ones that were brave enough, 66 votes, to vote on this, over half said yes. That supported the numbers. 24 of those said possibly. They're unsure. Maybe they want to know the side effects and things like that. 22% said no. You have the option to help every single person in this poll. And I would take inventory by just kind of clicking on it and taking a look and seeing if any of these people are your clients, are your coaches, are your potentials that you've done a health assessment with just yet and that aren't ready just yet, and who have said yes to say, hey, I saw you voted. Would you be open to having a conversation about this? I'm curious to know why, because we may be offering this. We are offering this January 3rd, and I would love to help you make an informed decision for you and give you information on this. Now, the possiblies, same thing. Go through them. Just kind of look, see if any of these are your peeps, and just say, hey, I saw that you voted on this. I'm really curious. I know we've had conversations in the past. I'd really love to know your authentic opinion, why you may be considering. I'd love to be able to maybe potentially help answer some questions once you guys feel informed, right? Because there's no problem answering some questions that you can pull from that, or give them the data sheets that we've been sending you guys, right? You're not prescribing medication. You're not saying you're for it. Hey, but based on this is what we know. There's nothing wrong with them, with you giving that sort of information, informing them. And then the no's, well, guess what, Cindy Sue? These are your peeps, right? Now, if these are people that have been sitting on the fence and they're hard, staunch no's, like I know Justine is like a no way, Jose, right? Well, this is why you'll probably want to coach. Because now this is what we help people with, is helping people with lifelong transformation, and they don't have to support it. It can be an option for them. But if they feel that heavy with that, don't you think that they would make amazing coach candidates? I mean, because it's our mission. But it is our mission to meet people where they're at too, right? And they probably have some pretty high opinions about health and wanting to see people healthy. And you can share their mission and say, you know what, you should coach. based on all of the information that's out there and all of that, like the obesity epidemic is just, it's running rampant. We could use your help. So Whitney, I know you had a question. Sorry, I wanted to share that with you and why I kind of put that post up for all you guys. Or maybe a statement.
No, I think that that's good. And, to Cindy Sue's point, which is a discussion I'd like to have here or wherever we decide to have it. But, in the discussion we started at Jamil's house, oh my gosh, Jamil's house before this announcement came out. Sorry, guys, I've been going to bed early, so it's about time. About value and how to really drive the value that we all know, because I'm not saying I am for this or against it. I'm saying I am Switzerland and I am for people having a desire to contend for better in their life. And for many, like when I came in here, it started with weight loss. I had no idea I wanted any of the other stuff. I could have cared less about the books, the coach, none of it. The community, blah. I was totally closed off. Didn't want its thing. But because I know now, and that's my concern with this, is if you can get a quick fix from whatever it is, we could say it's the medication, we could say it's the fuelings, we could say it's whatever. I mean, let's just call it what it is. It could be either. How do we drive the value of the other things to really just another level is really what I'm thinking about. And I don't have the answers, but I'd love to collaborate with those that want to do that and really drive that, so that whether people decide to go with plan, medical weight loss, or they decide to just go the way that we offer now, that we're still driving the value and all that we have to offer, and not just the food or the medical weight loss as being the answer. So if that makes any sense.
Can I say something to that, Whitney?
Yeah.
So in my conversations that I've been having with several people that I know, and just new people that I've come across, when I'm communicating to them, or maybe for you, and this may answer your question or be at ease in the value of what we offer, I am not talking about medical weight loss. I'm not talking about pills or shots or anything like that. We're getting to know these people based off of posts, conversations, lifestyle, and we're figuring out what's important to them. And so when we are doing that pre-health assessment and then getting into that health assessment, we're getting into their why, we're getting into what their thought process is, we're getting into what they've looked into, what they've tried, what they haven't tried. And so when I'm having these conversations with some of my prospects, some of them are already interested in medical weight loss. They're interested in a shot. They're interested in a pill because their doctor's recommending it. And so then I'm asking them questions behind it of, why are they recommending this pill? Why are they recommending this? Why are you thinking about the shot? And getting that information behind. Some of the people that I'm talking to have already been on the shot for the last 6-7 months. And so with the people that are already on the shot or already taking weight loss drugs, my question to them is, well, what are you doing for nutrition? Kind of like what Annika was talking about. What are you doing for muscle building? And so the trainings that have come out the last 2 weeks have been great, because there's a lot of stuff I didn't know that you lose when you are on this medical stuff, which is great conversations to have with them. And then it brings value, and you're still having the conversations about what we do, mental health, physical, sleep, all of that. They still have to have that in order to have a healthy lifestyle. And so when I'm having those conversations, they're like, well, they didn't talk to me about nutrition. Well, what are you doing for nutrition? I'm not doing anything for nutrition. And then you can build that conversation there, and you bring value into what we do and what we offer. And then we can partner with them. And then those that are thinking about having all of these options, that's another great opportunity, if you wish to take it, have you had that conversation with your doctor? If you haven't, here's a link come January 3rd to go check it out and find out if that option is really for you. For me, this is how I lost my weight, and through this program, this is what I learned and this is what I gained based off of the information that they're giving you. Because some people, like you said, aren't interested in the mental and well-being. They're just interested in weight loss. And we meet them where they are. But every time we talk to them and every time we check in with them, we're dripping more value each and every week, which then gets them to want to open those books and then gets that value. So for me, I'm not one that's going to go, hey, are you interested in this? Have you thought about this? But through my conversations, they're going to bring it up to me because we're having conversations around weight loss and things that they've tried or haven't tried or what they've thought about. I don't know if that helped you, but that's what's been going on in my world the last 6 months.
Couldn't have said it better, Kyra. Dr. A couldn't have said it better. I think the value comes in having the transformational conversations with people about it. Because I think everybody would potentially agree here. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But your doctor's not going to sit there and spend time and ask, well, why are you thinking about this? How is this impacting your life? Right? They're not going to get to the depths and the transformational end with them. They're going to just be like, okay, based on what you're telling me, you want to lose weight. This is your BMI. This is your insurance. This is your medical conditions. Yes and no. That's it. They don't take the time to understand the depth of the problem and how that's impacting their life and why it's so heavy on their brain. This is the conversations that I've been having in health assessments is that, okay, we're talking about this. Has the weight loss medication thought ever popped into your brain? That is a question that I'm asking. And over 50% of the time it is. And I say, okay, so why? Just like Kyra said, well, because this, and this. Okay. Have you tried anything else? So it's going into the depth and uniqueness of their life and situation that's going to add more value because, yeah, it's going to help them lose weight. But what's the long-term plan? And that you're asking that. Potentially LifeMD may be asking that now because they know OPTAVIA is a partner with them now. We're partnering together and we can offer the whole package. But there's so many other telemed programs out there they're going to be offering that they're just looking to give the medication and they're not providing the whole picture. So exactly, Shannon, right? So Kyra, thank you for saying that because I know you've been having a lot of conversations with folks around this and you couldn't have, nobody had better to help with that. Anybody else got any questions? Anybody want to share any feelings around it? Open forum.
Okay, I'm gonna ask it. Do we have people that have testimonies of this? I know because I came in late and I apologize that I'm asking a question you probably already talked about. I apologize.
No, we haven't.
So I mean, it's probably in the literature, but is there people that have been on this program and how long do they get to be on this on this medication?
Those are all done in the studies and there's tons of studies back there. If you want to ask them from Coach Answers, they can provide what that kind of study looks like. There is no set timeline according to what I read on how long people have to or need to be on these medications. I think most people, and doctors included, they don't see this as a long-term solution. But what we know is that because this is an appetite suppressant, that the second you stop it, guess what happens, right? And so that is in the studies, and I can pull that up if you want me to. But the chances of going back, this is why OPTAVIA is so needed, because most people do not want to be on these medications long-term with that. and they want to support healthier habits, as we see, right, in the literature, like that 96%. So if we're not helping provide that support and that gap, then they're going to feel like they need to be on that long term. And I'm not a doctor. I don't pretend to be a doctor, but I think we would all agree the longer we're on medications, the longer potential for side effects and things like that happen, right? And most people just don't want that. So that's going to be at the discretion for the physician to determine how long that they will need to be on it, right? Kind of like us as a coach, is that a client's journey is their journey. I could lose 70 pounds in 5.5 months and do it straight all the way through, and then the less need for the fuelings, right? But everybody's journey is going to be a little bit different. We may issue the prescription, we may issue all sorts of things with that. So if that's the kind of information that you're kind of wanting to see and things like that, I would call OPTAVIA directly, ask for, I think coach support can actually provide that information to you to see. But I will tell you something that, I mean, it shouldn't shock me, I guess, but one of our coaches within the organization has been on it for 2.5 months and seen amazing results and super stoked about it. Super stoked. No side effects, feeling amazing. And then I've had the opposite end. I've had a client that went on it and horrible issues. And touted to never do it again, and everything in between, you know? So I think that that's just life in every aspect. We can see the pros, we can see the cons, drastic, not so drastic, and all of those things. And just like anything else, this is brand new. So we're just beginning to understand what the benefits and the side effects are on all of those things. So like I'm saying, and just like Whitney said, for me, I am here to be Switzerland. I am here to support people in their journey, meet them where they're at, allow them to make an informed decision, because I believe truly people don't want to be told what to do. They just want to be heard, respected, understood, and supported along their journey. And that's what builds trust and credibility, and providing resources to help them make the best informed decision for them and love them and guide them away along the way. And then just say, hey, are you open to a perspective that might be helpful? This is what I went through. This is my, whatever. And just give, not advice. That's not the word I'm looking for. Your own personal testimony, and allow them to make a decision based on that, if that makes sense. Yeah. So. Oh, you're on mute, but I was kind of reading your lips. I thought I saw thank you. I tried to get good on that. Yeah, you guys, I'm, you know what, to be honest with you, I'm really excited to be able to help hit the need for folks. When I first hit this, a lot like Whitney was saying, I was very unsure. I came from a very scarce mindset with some of these things because I just didn't know. And I usually hit things with the reticular activating system of the problem, right? Got to fix the problem, got to look at the bad first and all those things. And it's not necessarily the bad, but that's just the way I operate, is that I'm constantly analytical, right? And we hit things with our egos, you guys. We usually see things how we are, not as they are. And so I would just encourage you in leadership just to be open, be curious, maybe start having conversations with folks and just start the question. I put one up on Facebook the other day just to get a feedback, just to get a feeling, just to start conversations, to see where people are at and to seek understanding, right? And just kind of curious. And within that, I became a lot more empathetic because now I started to see the depths of some of these people's struggles. And sometimes we think we know what we know. And now I'm constantly coming from this place of, what if I don't know? I don't know. And what if I don't know? I don't know that I don't know something too. Right. So I think we all just want to do our best, provide the best so that other people can do their best. And that's all we do here. So I'm excited to get this recording up for everybody who has questions. Please do not hesitate to reach out to me. For those of you that really want to have like a one-on-one conversation, you know, maybe just kind of curious about a few things, I'd be more than happy to spend time with you guys going over these things. To let you know, the Fraser organization is really building a series to try to help everybody feel educated and up to date on this as everything kind of rolls out. I promise you, my job and my only desire is as soon as I know something, you guys get to know it too. But please, if there's something that you discover along your own path, being proactive and business owners that you've discovered, please let me know too, because I definitely don't know it all. Right. So we all have the same information right now as it's coming out. But if there's anything new that I know, I promise I will share it with you. I'm just really excited to help people that are really, really struggling and offer a solution that they've been thinking about, that now we can help partner with them in an autonomy supportive environment that helps them build on habits. So, all right, that's enough talking for tonight, because a lot like Whitney, I'm losing my voice, you guys. I love you. Have an amazing holiday week, you guys. Please don't hesitate to reach out with any questions, and I'll get the recording up. Bye, guys.
Bye. Love you all. Merry Christmas.
Bye.